Hey coaches, today I want to talk about objections and how we handle them. Now, there's no way I can adequately cover everything about objections in the short time that I want to record this video, but I am going to provide you with some additional information and resources in the comment section below the video, so be sure to check them out. The biggest thing I want to talk about here is our mindset around objections. Our job in this business is not to argue with people that our programs and products are better than what they're doing or that they need to do what we're doing. Our job isn't to convince somebody to join on with us. Our job is to educate. And we need to keep that in front of our mind as we're talking to prospective customers and prospective coaches. We're simply here to give the information that they need to make a decision. But the only way that we can adequately give the information they need is to be building these relationships with them, getting to know them. Not every product and program we have is the right fit for every person out there. However, there is going to be a program and a product that is the right fit. But if we're not asking questions and we're not talking to our prospects and getting to know them, we won't be able to provide the right information and the right education for them to make a decision to join us. Objections are an awesome thing. And I know that sounds crazy, but we need to get our brain around the idea is that objections are awesome. The reason being, they give us a jumping point. They tell us what's going on with the other person. They tell us what we need to do in order to educate them properly. Objections are a chance to keep conversations going. Objections don't turn the conversations off. The worst thing in the world is when somebody doesn't tell you anything. They just ignore you. But when somebody at least says no, then you can continue the conversation. You know, I understand that you don't want to do this right now. Do you mind me asking why? What's stopping you from joining me? Right? I ask that all the time when somebody says, yeah, I'm not interested. Okay, well, is it that you're not interested right now? Or is this something you don't think you ever want to do? And usually people will come back with, it's not the right time for me. Time is always a huge objection. And the other one is money. I am willing to bet that you used one of those or both of those when it came time to jumping on board and buying a program or product or jumping on board with this coaching opportunity. Time and money are the number 1 and 2 objections that you're going to hear. Now, the reality is we make time and we make money for things that we find valuable. How many of you are busy, working jobs outside of this Beachbody thing? You've got things going on all the time. But I bet you go get a haircut every once in a while. I bet that's something that you find the time in your busy schedule because it's something that's important to you. Or maybe more important, I know it's more important, your kid has a concert at school and you've got a busy, hectic, crazy schedule going on. But I bet you figure out, the drive to and from plus the time it's going to take to be there so that you're there with that child for that moment at school. People make and find time for things that they see valuable. Same thing with money. How many of your prospective customers out there are going to tell you that they just can't afford, the $100 to be able to work out for a full year? You're going to hear it all the time. I can't afford that. And then you're going to see them get online and post about their brand new iPhone 10 or the Lulu Row outfit that they just bought or whatever it may be. Because they don't see the value in the $99 for a full year. Does that make sense? So people they're going to buy into, they're going to understand. So it's important that we educate them. It's important that we dig deeper. You're telling me that you don't have time. Well, let me ask you this. Do you think that you could find 25 minutes a couple days a week if it means you're going to have more energy? If it means that when you're at work, you're going to be more productive? If it means that you're feeling better about yourself and you can parent better? When they see what that 25 minutes can do, they may start to come around to the idea of the value of it. It's important that we become educated ourselves on our programs and products so that we know, yeah, there's some great programs that are 20 to 25 minutes that we can get people connected to. It's important that we talk to them. Maybe they don't have the time to work out, but we talk to them about their nutrition. We find out how they're feeling. Do they feel sluggish? Do they feel tired? Do they not have energy to do the things they want to do? We can educate them on Shakeology. I understand that you don't have time right now to be fitting in workouts. You can't comprehend that in your schedule. What if I can introduce you to a breakfast that you can take on the go that's going to jumpstart your day, give your body the nutrients it needs to perform at its best while keeping you full and giving you energy? Would you be interested in more information on that? Do you see how we do this? Now, the technique I want to share with you really briefly, and then I'm gonna go. Again, I'm gonna give you more resources on this, but I want to encourage you as objections come your way, share them with me, share them with our team, share them with your sponsoring coach if it's not me. Let's tackle some of them together. The technique that I want to share with you is called Feel, Felt, Found. And you can kind of use this for anything. When somebody tells me that they just can't afford Shakeology, mind you, we've already had the conversation and we know that it's something that they need, right? I'll start with, again, Feel, Felt, Found. I feel where you're coming from. That's where I was. And I'll even tell them, worst off, I actually could afford it at the time, but I just didn't think that I needed it. But what I found was after I actually started drinking it and I got it in my system, several days in a row and not just randomly. But once I started drinking it, what I found was that I had more energy. What I found was that the weight started coming off faster. What I found was that I was fuller longer, so I didn't feel the need to snack. And my cravings were curbed, so I didn't have to buy all the junk food. You see how simple the Feel, Felt, Found was? And you can use it when it's not your story. I have people that are busy, working, corporate, fast-paced lives. They get to work super early in the morning. And I can tell them, you know what? I understand what you're saying. My sister has 2 kids that she has to have at daycare by like 7:30 so she can be at work for 8. She and her husband both get up and they've been doing their workouts at 4:30. Because what they discovered was getting up 30 minutes earlier to get in that 30 minutes of activity gave them so much more energy throughout the day and gave them such a higher level of productivity that getting up 30 minutes earlier wasn't actually making them tired, but making them feel better about themselves and what they were doing. So I want you to think about feel, felt, and found. Again, what you're saying is, I feel you. I understand where you're coming from. I hear what you're saying. It's important to connect. I hear what you're saying. And then this is, for me, this is what I felt. This is where I was at. This is how I looked at it. And then this is what I found out about myself. So think about feel, felt, found. Think about objections as a good thing. It is a great opportunity to educate, and that is our job, and that is our role. So guys, don't look at objections as negative. Look at them as positive. Feel, felt, find your way around the objections that you face, and reach out as you have them. There is some great training in the Coach Online office, and again, I'm going to provide some resources below. Take a look at them. It's going to feel yucky for a while, but over time, you're going to start to love objections and feel comfortable with them.